Now, reproduction in human beings. What do we know about human beings? First of all, human beings are unisexual. What is the meaning of this term? That males as well as the females are having different distinct sexual dimorphism, and the male system is in male body, female system is in female body. Clear? This means unisexual, where we say that there is followed distinct dimorphism. It stands for that both males and females are different from each other in their physical build-up, external genital organs, and accessory, which we call secondary sex characteristics. When we talk about the structure which is associated with reproduction, that also is different in males as well as in females. Alright, so we divide them into the male and the female reproductive structures. Because in males, the production of gamete is known as sperm, and in females, the production of gamete is known as egg or ova. Therefore, the structures differ, and these structures are further distinguishable into primary and secondary sex organ structures. Now, moving to this only. The primary and secondary sex organs. See, first of all, this term is replaced by gonads. Every time whenever we will use the word sex organ, we will use the word gonads. Gonads which will produce gametes. Okay, gametes means the sex cells and secrete sex hormones. The gonads are known as TES in males, and this is going to produce sperm gamete. Same way, ovaries in females, and is going to produce ova. This one is supported by hormone testosterone. This one is supported by hormone estrogen, can be written as oestrogen, as well as progesterone. So we are going to pick up this estrogen as well as progesterone. It's one and the same thing. When do these primary and secondary sex organs mature? We say it's puberty. These organs, primary sexual organs, they are present at birth, whereas the secondary sexual characteristics that develop at puberty. What is puberty? Age at which the reproductive organs become functional and start producing gametes as well as sex hormones, right? In boys as well as girls, both become sexually mature. What is the age for males or the boys? In boys, it's achieved in 13 to 14 years. And what about girls? In females, the puberty is triggered by the production of hormone estrogen from the ovaries. It is little earlier, right? That is 10 to 12 years in girls. Fine, little early. Now, what do we learn? That in males, puberty is triggered by the secretion of hormone testosterone that we have written here. And it brings about the development of secondary sexual characteristics in males and maintain these throughout adult life. And whenever puberty is triggered in girls, it's in this age, that too by the hormone estrogen, not progesterone, estrogen. And it helps in the maintenance of secondary sexual characteristics in the females and changes a girl into a woman. Right? Women who's fit to bear children. That is what estrogen does. And that is what testosterone does in boys, to transform them into males, and estrogen transform girls into women. Now, what are these secondary sexual characteristics that we are talking about? These are the changes observed during puberty. In case of males, secondary sexual characteristics. In case of males, the first one is enlargement of external genitalia. That means the organ, penis and scrotum. Scrotum is also known as the thermoregulator for the sperms. Then number 2, broadening of shoulders and increased muscle development. This is a very prominent feature, broadening of shoulders. Then enlargement of larynx. You might have observed that their voice changes and becomes little hoarse in speaking, especially in this age, this puberty age, that is your age in which you all are. You might have heard boys, your brother, your cousin, your friends, when they speak, it's quite hoarse voice. It is all due to the thickening of vocal cords. Okay, and it produces deep voice. Then growth of pubic hair. Then we see extra hair on face. In armpits, on chest, quite prominent feature. Changes in behavior. That means they are little associated with courtship and mating. And increase in height. These are the observed changes in males that we see during puberty. Now moving to the females. What do we observe as secondary sexual characteristics in females? We say here, the first is again the same. Growth of breasts, the physical appearance and external genitalia. Then secondly, growth of pubic hair and extra hair in armpits. Then third, basically the chest hair an extra hair, these all are lacking, right? So this point is quite prominent to be written here, that chest hair, extra hair on face, these all are lacking. Number 4, broadening of pelvis, that means broadening of the hip girdle. In case of boys, we have written the pectoral girdle or the shoulders, that gets broadened. In case of females, it's the hip girdle. Then initiation of or the beginning of menstruation cycle as well as ovulation. When the ova is released at maturity, that is ovulation. Then there is subcutaneous fat, particularly in thighs, shoulder, buttocks and face, that is normally restored in case of females. Let's move to the reproductive systems in detail.